welcome to this Week 2 football preview edition of Patriot League Roundup. I'm Melanie Plowski. All 7 teams will be in action on their home fields this weekend, and 5 of the matchups will be available to watch for free on the Patriot League Network. Lehigh will open the big day of football on the Patriot League Network with a 12:30 kickoff against Central Connecticut, and Holy Cross will host number 5 Towson at 1 p.m. Both games will be on the Patriot League Network. 5 games will kick off at 6 p.m., including a trio of Patriot League Network webcasts. Bucknell will host Marist, Fordham will go up against Villanova, and Colgate will welcome in Albany. In other league games, Sacred Heart will play at Lafayette, and Davidson will travel to Georgetown. Albany posted a program best 9-2 record last season, but in its first game as a member of the CAA, the Great Danes fell 35-34 to Duquesne last week. Junior quarterback Will Fiacchi had a strong game, throwing for 346 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last season, he had 2,156 yards passing and 11 touchdowns in 11 games. Albany beat Colgate 40-23 in the season opener last season. Colgate fell 38-13 at FBS Air Force last week, and the Raiders will look to get the league's best offense from 2012 going this weekend. Colgate is coming off its 7th Patriot League title in school history. An 18-year head coach, Dick Biddle, has been there for every single trophy ceremony. He joins us right now via Skype on the Patriot League Network. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
It's good to be here.
So this Saturday, September 7th, will be your 200th game coaching at Colgate. What's it been like for you all this time?
Well, man, been some ups, been some downs, but it's really been a positive experience. It's a great university. I'm glad I'm here. Hopefully I can last another 200 games, but it's been a joy to be the coach at Colgate. We've had some great success due to our coaches and players, and it's just it's been fun.
You're taking on Albany at home, and junior quarterback Will Fiacchi set school records last season, and he had a big game last week. What have you seen from him, and what do you expect to see from him this weekend?
Well, I mean, they're a good football team. I mean, he's a good football player, but we're really more concerned with, I think the best way to approach it is like we approach any other game. We worry about what we control, and I worry about what our kids and how they play. I know they're going to come to play, and we just try to improve ourselves, and I think that's the best way to approach it. That's the way we've always done, and we just try to say that's an opponent we're playing and move on. And I think obviously they've got a good program. They have a lot of transfers. They went to the playoffs last year, I think, and I think they're ranked in the top 20 or top 25 in 1AA football. So they're a well-balanced team, and they're very well coached. But we've played them before, so we're familiar with them, so I think that's a plus.
What's your mentality on offense coming into Saturday? Do you think the Air Force game prepared you to get going on offense against the Great Danes?
Well, I think our goal on offense is, I think when we went to the Air Force, we wanted to control the clock and keep them off the field a little bit. I think we'll probably this game be a little more aggressive and open up a little bit. But the bottom line is on offense, you want to score points and you want to move the ball. That's what we want to do against any opponent. And defensively, you've got to play good defense and hold them to 1 less point. So that's been our approach. I mean, there are games that, maybe 50-49, and there are games that maybe 7-6. But you got to do what you got to do to win the game. But I think for us offensively, I think we've got to generate some more points and take time off the clock and maybe get a couple big plays, which we didn't get against Air Force.
You spent your entire weekend last week at Air Force Academy in Colorado. I imagine that was an experience that went well beyond the football field. What was that trip like for you and your players?
Well, it was a great trip. I think it was a great experience for them, and something they'll remember all their life, and I think they'll remember the game, and I think they'll probably take out of it. They played a pretty good opponent, and I think in the game, if we had made a couple plays early and made a stop here, we could have made it a more interesting ball game. But it was a great experience, and I think it would only be a positive for us, and but we've got to put it behind us and move on.
Okay, Coach, well, congratulations on your 200th game coming up, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
The woes of 2012 resurfaced in the first game of the season for the Holy Cross Crusaders. After a year of close losses, Holy Cross dropped its season opener to Bryant last week, 17-16, after the Bulldogs kicked a game-winning field goal with 38 seconds left. The Crusaders will try to bounce back at home against a tough CAA opponent, Towson, which is ranked number 5 in the FCS. I spoke with Holy Cross coach Tom Gilmore via Skype earlier this week to talk about this Saturday's matchup. Coach, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So you have your first home game against Towson this weekend, and they're coming off a big win over Connecticut. Can you talk about how big of a test this will be for your guys this weekend?
Yeah, I think despite what they did last weekend, Towson is a very good football team. They're a very well-coached team, and it's going to be a challenge one way or the other. The fact that they went out and proved their level at this point by beating a very good UConn team, just adds to that excitement. They executed their game plan very well, and I thought they played very well in all three phases of the game.
Have you seen any video on Towson's junior running back Terrence West? And if you have, what kind of challenge do you think that he'll present for you guys?
Presents a lot of challenges. We exchanged film with Towson, our first games as well as some games last year, and he's a very impressive player. He's a multi-dimensional back. Some backs are finesse guys, some are power guys, and he's one that really can do both. He's an excellent player, and we're going to have to do a good job of obviously playing our gaps, but also tackling him and running our feet through tackles so he doesn't get the yards after contact.
And Towson's defense has a number of guys that are in rotation that got the job done against UConn. What do you expect to see from them this weekend? First
and foremost, the thing that jumps out at you is their defensive front. They're big, they're physical, but they're very mobile. They disrupted UConn's run game and collapsed the pocket, against the pass. I was very impressed with what they did. So we're going to have to play with a good pad level and be a lot more physical with them as compared to what we did last week.
Since the year 2000, the Tigers have not won back-to-back road games to open their season. Do you feel an advantage because you guys are going to be playing them on your home turf?
I hope there's some home field advantage, but I don't really look at those statistics. I mean, sometimes you can read into them and there might be some truth to them. But in this case, I don't think that's applicable at all. I know that's something maybe Towson might be using to motivate their own guys against Holy Cross, and they have to hit the road for the second week in a row. But they're a good club, and I think they're going to do they're going to do a good job getting prepared to play us. Like I said earlier, they're a very well-coached team, and I wouldn't expect anything less of them coming into Fitton this week.
Okay, Coach. Well, thanks so much for your time, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
To watch the 5 games featured on the Patriot League Network this weekend, all you have to do is log on to patriotleague.tv. And if you miss any of the action, join us next week for highlights and scores on Patriot League Roundup. For the Patriot League Network, I'm Melanie Plowski.